What's up, YouTube? Welcome back. What is up, YouTube? Welcome back. So I've been away from this channel for a little while, but despite that, you guys have still kept commenting and subscribing and watching the videos. And for that, I'm incredibly thankful. So I figured it's time to get back up here and make some more content for you great viewers. Despite the pandemic, it's actually been a really busy year for my studio. Between home recording enthusiasts sending me their mixes because they just couldn't get it where they wanted it to be, and a couple of EP and album projects, I've had a lot to do over the past year, and that's not even to mention the upgrades I've done to the studio. I got this new console and built a custom desk for it. I've got enough new gear in the studio that soon I'm going to be completely rewiring my patch bay. I set up a makeshift vocal recording area just outside of my studio, and I even turned this old telephone into a microphone. And all that has given me a lot of great ideas for videos to make for you guys. I could have all the ideas in the world, but what really matters to me is what you guys want to see. So let me know down in the comments what kind of videos you guys would like to see me make. Now, aside from being absent from making these videos, I haven't really responded to a whole lot of comments on the videos either. So I figured I'd take this opportunity to answer some of the more frequently asked questions I've gotten over the past year. From my video about consolidating your audio files in Reaper, Vincent Guarino asks, is this the same as rendering to stems? No. Consolidating your audio files and rendering your audio files to stems are two different things, but there seems to be a lot of confusion between the two. The quick and easy explanation is that a stem is a rendered stereo file of a group of tracks. For example, if you took all of your drum mics, your kick drum, 2 snare drum mics, all the toms, overheads, rooms, any spot mics that you have, and rendered them down into a stereo file, you've got yourself a drum stem. Same goes for bass, guitar, keyboards, backup vocals, lead vocals. If you group them all together and render them down as a stereo file, that's your stem. Now, all those files that you combined into those stereo files, those are your multi-tracks. So the individual kick drum mic, snare top mic, snare bottom mic, tom mic, etc., etc. Those individually are your multi-tracks. So when you're sending files off to a mix engineer, chances are they're looking for your multi-tracks, because they're going to want to mix that kick drum, they're going to want to mix that snare drum, they're going to want to mix everything separately to have as much control over the final product as possible. So unless your mix engineer specifically asks for stems, make sure you're sending them the multi-tracks. And if you're unsure, just ask them and find out. So again, stems are a group of tracks rendered down into a single stereo file, whereas multi-tracks are all the individual tracks from your DAW. From the One Microphone Recording Session, Taylor H asks, what mic did you use for this? The mic that we used for that session belonged to the singer and bass player of the band we were recording, Chris. It's a ribbon microphone designed by ART, and the model number is the AR5. It's an active ribbon microphone, so you need phantom power to run it, as opposed to most ribbon microphones where phantom power can actually damage them. We chose a ribbon mic because we were trying to get the sound of those old blues recordings, and back in those days, that's how they recorded. One ribbon mic in the middle of the room and move the band around it until you get a good blend of everything. So ribbon mics pick up from both the front of the microphone and the rear of the microphone, but they don't pick up from the sides. It's called a figure of 8 polar pattern, and the benefit to this in that sort of session is that you can put the elements that you want to hear most clearly on the front and rear of the microphone so that they pick up directly. But the things that you want more in the background, or the louder sources that might just overpower everything else, you put them off to the side of the microphone in the null zone so that they're not getting picked up directly. And that's kind of how you mix a session like that, just by moving the artist around and moving the microphone around until you find a sweet spot where everything just blends nicely and sounds good. So we ran the microphone, the ART AR5, into my Warm Audio WA73. There was a little bit of EQ happening there, and I believe I also had a DBX 163X compressor on the insert point for just a tiny little bit of compression on the way in. And then for a mix on that one, I believe I did a little bit of EQ, a little bit of multiband compression, slapped a limiter on there, and that was about it. Just proof to the point that when you get the sound right at the source, you don't have to do a heck of a lot of mixing. From the WA73 review, Nocivo13 asks, I noticed you switching off from kicks, bass, and vocals on just one WA73 at the end of the video. If I have an 8-piece drum kit, do I need 8 WA73s, or can I switch like you did and use one WA73 on all my kit? So the WA73 is a 1-channel unit, and therefore if you're trying to record 8 microphones on your drum kit, you're going to need 8 WA73s. Me switching off between those at the end of the video was just a bit of editing magic. I had recorded them all separately, mixed them all separately, and just spliced them in for the sake of the video. That's one big difference between buying a plugin and buying hardware. When you buy a 1073 plugin, you can throw it over as many tracks as you want. When you buy 1073 hardware, that one channel gives you one channel. Now I guess if you're mixing and you have the patience to do so, you could run each of your channels through the WA73 individually. You'd have to run one into there, do the processing, print it down, run the next one in there, do the processing, print it down. So in a mixed sense, technically speaking, you could use the one unit on a whole bunch of different sources. But personally, I've always found that to be a pain in the ass. Anyways guys, thank you so much for continuing to watch these videos and support the channel. If you like this video and you want to see more, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you have any questions or comments that you would like me to answer, leave them in the comment section down below. And if I get enough questions down there that I think would be beneficial to answer for the home recording community, then I may do another Q&A video in the future. Anyways, thanks again for tuning in guys, we'll see you next time.